Hi everyone, it's Shelley Johns here from Gympie with Ross Henderson.
How we going?
And tonight we've got a really fantastic topic we're going to be covering your action plan and your action steps. So one, it's really great for you to revisit yourself, no matter how long you've been in the business for. And two, it's great for you to do with your new people to help get them off to a fast start. So we're just going to cover a few of the steps and obviously bring in a mentoring system as we go along over the next couple of months as well, which I know everyone's waiting for. So what we thought we'd do is kick off the night with some great, some good news and hearing from people all over Australia on what's happening in their businesses. So let's start off with Coral and Michael. I think you live at Deception Bay, so if you just want to unmute yourself and share what's been your good news for the week.
Yes, hi. How's everyone going? We're going fantastic here.
Great.
Just had our weight loss challenge and finalised tonight, and a lot of centimetres are gone. And also I've signed another lady up with two sisters that are going to come to the weight loss challenge, and one registered as a member to get a kickstart and get onto the program.
So how did you find them? Where did they come from?
Chris is a circle of influence, a friend of mine, which I met through actually Avon many years ago, and she's joined with Herbalife, and she's just signed her sister up underneath her the other day.
Excellent.
A circle of influence.
Excellent. Oh, that's fantastic. And then you've got to help to get a referral.
Yes.
Go through her centre. That's fantastic. And you're saying too that you had a new product result as well.
Yes, I don't claim this. I've messed that up. No health claims, but this is my story. I felt I got some food poisoning. Woke up one morning vomiting very severely. I managed to just pour a heap of aloe in a litre of water and sipped on that during the day. And by Monday morning, I was buzzing, and I could not believe the difference.
Fantastic. And we all know that the herbal aloe is liquid gold, and it's amazing for our digestive health. So that's another fantastic story. So I think it's great if you're going out to dinner or you're traveling to have some with you. So thank you for sharing, Coral and Michael.
No problem.
Okay, so we're going to bring, if you can mute yourself, that'd be lovely. Well, let's bring up Les. I think you're from the Sunshine Coast, aren't you, Les? So just unmute yourself.
Yeah, up on the sunny coast here, beautiful Buderim.
Yep.
On the top of the hill.
And so what's happened? I know you've got a fantastic product result. So what's happened to you so far?
Well, I've been on the product since mid-January, and I've lost now just a touch, very small smidgen under 10 kilos. I hope to be coming down to the summit with over 10 kilos off on the weekend, but I was on heart medication and medication for GORD. I'm now off the GORD. I'm off one of my blood pressure tablets. They're gone. And my doctor has told me that in a couple of months' time, it's going to halve my diabetic medication. All thanks to Mark and Herbalife.
Oh, that's an awesome result. So what are you using? What program?
I'm using the what do you call it? The
Advanced.
Advanced program, plus a few of the other nutrition products with it, including the aloe, the tea, the chitosan, and the Lifeline.
Fantastic. And that's an awesome result. We definitely look forward to seeing you on Saturday with your 10 kilo. I've lost over 10 kilos. And I know we can't make health claims, but of course, you know, that's the doctor, even though we can't take people or reduce medication, the doctor can do that. So what an amazing result. And obviously you're adding years to your life, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to bounce into that meeting.
Looking very excited. It's great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday. So thank you for sharing. Liz, you can mute yourself. Thank you. And we'll do one more good news, which I know, Lydia, you were just saying you've got some great stuff happening. I know you've been on holidays, so now you're back into it.
Hey, Shelley. Yeah, so I think just by advertising and rustling a few feathers is what you could say. Just sticking advertisements on my personal page on Facebook has got a lot of interest. So this month alone, just been able to reinstate 3 ladies. One of those ladies actually wants to join the weight loss challenge. So have upgraded her already. But just had a bit of a conversation with her 2 weeks ago about, you know, affordability, and she wished she could be on more products. But, you know, it's just the cost that stops her, you know, which then again, you know, it's a slower result sort of thing. And I just spoke to her about, you know, upgrading to more products to make it happen faster, easier sort of thing. So we had a little conversation, and it basically out of that conversation came wanting to get a bigger discount and possibly having the time to follow up 2 or 3 people to help get that discount and to sort of see where that leads for her. Just sort of coaching just a couple of family, like centre of influence, basically, nobody out of her circle of influence. Yeah, just helping her look after those guys. So pretty excited to catch up with her tomorrow and, you know, sort of just role play with that client, that new client, and, yeah, build her confidence up and see where she goes.
That's a great way to mentor, isn't it? Doing role plays. I really enjoy doing that as well. So where did most of your clients come from? Like, where's your most successful form of advertising, would you say?
It still comes from referral, Shelley. You know, like Facebook is awesome. You know, but at the end of the day, it can be a lot of work sometimes, you know, to and fro. But I just find that I think you know, the rapport built up of that frontline customer is always going to repeat itself, and then you rapport yourself again, and then frontline again. So I can't go past referrals. So it is just that rock star follow up. That's what I've found in the many years that I've been doing Herbalife. It's that more personal and looking after people.
So you were saying that to and fro, like it's a lot of work. So do you think maybe what a lot of people don't do is they don't persist long enough with some of their leads to where it would actually end up being a sale?
I just think there's a lot of hard work in there, and I think it's okay, you know, for people like, you know, say for example, I find Facebook will work, but I find Facebook to re-inspire my older customers, and then, you know, if I can get that once again, that frontline re-inspired, they bring somebody with them again. To get a lead off Facebook, a raw lead, is really hard because people want to inbox. So it just goes back, twos and throws, and, you know, I just can't close the deal to get them at the house unless they know somebody that's on the products and they may come with them. And to me, that still comes after, you know, comes through the referral system. That's what I would call that. But, you know, that raw, yes, I'm interested in the product, I want to know more. You know, I don't muck around and try and send information back because that's all they want, information, prices. And really all they want to know is, do the products work and is it affordable? Yep. And are the products safe, obviously. So if I can just get them to the house, it's a closed deal basically as soon as they walk through the gate. I've never had anybody leave without taking product, but just coming from Facebook, it just goes back and forth, you know, and because then they Google stuff. They Google Herbalife and, oh, what about this product and what about that product? Well, I just can't do that through a text. I need to talk to you or come out and see me. And basically, I just don't even pay much attention to them. I just don't go. I don't do it anymore. I don't go back and forth via text messages on Facebook.
Yeah.
I welcome them to my home. That's the best way that I find I can pass off the information, and you'll get a yay and a nay out of that conversation with me. Yeah. And I've told them I just don't communicate through Facebook. It just goes back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
Unless they go to the shop on Herbalife and actually order their products, and then I'll follow them up. But yeah, how much does this cost? And if I put that one there with it, how much will that be? And blah blah blah. It does your head in.
Well, I guess like you're trying to do, like, our time's valuable, and
yeah, basically. And I mean, I think, you know, and that's what I've just had this conversation with Erica in the last couple of days, you know, trying to teach her. And that's what I said to her. You've got a great mentor. Have trust in me, because every mistake that I have made, I will try and save you time. You know, I said, I didn't understand time at the start. You know, I said, whereas I'm working with you, that works full time now. And we need to minimize time. So, you know, as soon as you get a bite on something, inbox me for what to do. Don't go back and forth in between your lunch hour trying to send off price sheets and email this to her or him. You know, I said, look, you know, just talk to me, keep me in the loop, work closely together, because we are time poor. You know, you want to make, you know, $50 a week on the side around what you're doing, and doing that sort of stuff. You know, you'll come back to me in a month and go, look, I can't handle this Herbalife. I'm working full time. I'm answering texts. I'm trying to communicate, you know, and it's just, I just find for that one person, maybe every 6 months on Facebook, it's just not worth it.
Yep.
if you're serious, you will come to the home or use the phone and talk to me.
Really great tip too. I just love our conversations, Lydia. It always turns into a bit of a training, really, doesn't it? Which is great. So I need it's just something, I don't know, like, I don't know, take me back 8 years ago, I've done it all wrong and back to front, but that's where we learn from. And I think our mistakes, you know, we're trying to teach somebody fresh and save them time and you know, all the downturns and the no's, and because most of the time, 95% of the time, you'll get a, oh no thanks anyway, and you go, oh my god, you know, go scroll back through your messages on Facebook and it's been going on for 8 days and you've sent back 28 messages all in depth. You know, it's just not worth your time. Yep. Hey mate, if you're serious, come out, give me a buzz on this number. I'm available at 2 or 8. They're my times each day, 2 or 8. If not, make a personal appointment and come out and see me, and we'll do a wellness and get you sorted straight up. Yep. If they don't reply and they keep text messages, I just don't even open it because they can see I've opened it. Cool.
I think if you don't appreciate your time, nobody else.
We're giving your team members a steeper learning curve, and they're learning from your experience. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Lydia. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no worries.
So that's obviously our good news for tonight's call.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So, and I'd love to just bring in, I'm hoping that, I'm just having a look at the people on the calls, hoping that Marcel and Lydia and Jan might just be able to add a little bit of value as we go through on there's a few things coming up that I know that you're strong on. So let's just get on with the call. Are you happy to do the slides? Because you know what I'm like. Do you have to click first? I'm not in charge of the slides, look, no hands. So, okay, well, that's good news. So I love this quote. I just thought I would read the quote. So it says, support your friends. And as friends, I obviously think of not just Facebook friends, but your family and your team. To me, are kind of the same thing. So listen to their ideas, go to their events, share their posts, celebrate in their victories, and remind them of their importance after their failures. A little support can go a very long way in someone's life. So I thought it was a pretty cool quote that I found today, and I thought I would share it. Okay, so we're getting on with tonight's call, which is all about action plan. So obviously we've gone through retailing, we've gone through recruiting, we've gone through the products and the marketing plan and different ways of getting supervised and building royalty. So yes, it's great to know all that, but if you don't put all this into action, you don't get into action, your business will not grow. So I just thought we'd cover a few business basics tonight and then just work through each section. So let's go on to the first topic. Okay, so getting into action. And of course, sometimes people, especially on Facebook and social media, it can look like someone's like an instant success or that's all you see. Sometimes you don't see all the stuff. I know for me, especially, I don't air my personal life too much on Facebook. So sometimes you can't see what's really going on in the work and the time and everything involved. Like, for example, putting this PowerPoint together, you know how long it took to
few hours stuff.
That's right. Around all things that happened. Yeah, we had a few things that didn't go, that happened today that we had to work around and put our personal development into place. So, sometimes people don't see all the stuff that goes on. So always be aware when you see success that a lot goes into that. So I think it's good to, acknowledge that. So you want to make a plan and you want to know what you want. You want to put it into action and know what a 90-day plan is. And I've got a few tips on 90-day plans that I was taught by Gary and a few other people. You want to record your activity, record what's happening, and then track your results and go back and review it to see are you on track or you're off track, so you can always make those adjustments. So I was always told that no matter what I did in the business, I'd just add in things that were working and then add out, take out things that weren't working gradually. Don't swing the pendulum too far. If it keeps, I'm going to that training, they're doing that, I'm going to jump on that. Oh no, now I'm going to do this. And if you keep chopping and changing and you don't give it a chance to see the results, you'll really never get anywhere. It'll get very frustrating. So that was something that I was taught. So we can go on to the next one. Okay, so what are your goals? You need to know what you want. And of course, we've got lots of really great goal sheets and the career manual, asking what people want and, what could you give, what could you do, what could you become. Those sort of goals are good to work on. So you want to have short-term and long-term goals. You want to have an income amount. What do you want to earn daily, weekly, monthly? I know one of Mark Hughes' goals was to earn $100 retail profit every single day. I thought it was a really great retail goal, and I know Gary always taught that. So, and he always said it was like cash in your pocket every single day. It kept you excited. You had this, you know, that he said that yes, the checks were fantastic, but actually what excited him the most was that retail profit every single day. So it was like cash in his pocket. How many hours are you going to be working each day or each week or each month? You need to know these things, because most people have other commitments and other things that we're working around. You need to know the hours that you're committing to your business. The methods, knowing the menu and choosing at least 4 methods that you're going to do consistently. So you've got a stable table with 4 legs. And when are you going to get started? When's your starting date? And you're actually open for business. This is not a hobby. This is a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. You'll get hobby results. This is a business, a serious business. And yes, we have fun, but we're deadly serious about what we do. So make sure you treat it like a business. Okay, so this is something that I was taught and I was terrible at to start with, is your 90-day plans. And there's a few tricks to the 90-day plan. It's 1 day of consistency times 90 days, but let's just say there's, you know, you've got a part-time distributor and you've got a full-time distributor. So if a full-time distributor is doing the business 5 or 6 days a week, well, their 90-day plan consists of 5 or 6 days a week with their Sunday off, whatever it is, for 90 days. If you're part-time, you might be doing it 2 or 3 days a week. It's 2 days or 3 days a week with whatever days are in between that, 90 days. Okay, I need you to think of this. You need to know when you're going to start, and you need to know what your methods are and have them prepared in advance, because how can you get started if you don't have your flyers printed? You know, if you don't have enough flyers to last for the 90-day period, you know, you're going to run out and your momentum's going to be effective. You're going to stop and start all the time. And this is something that I was taught that most people don't do with a 90-day plan. I have someone go, I've been in the business 90 days and I haven't got to the reaping stage. I said, well, being in business for 90 days and doing 90 days of activity is 2 totally different things. And I was told that if I started my 90-day plan and on day 10, I didn't achieve what I had put down, I had to go back to day 1 again. Start at day 1. And I can tell you it took me 11 times of going back to the start before I actually completed a 90-day plan, 11 times. Because I'd get, you know, I'd just lose focus. I'd go off track and go, oh, I've forgotten it. I didn't do it today. Back to day 1, and until you complete it. And then when you complete one 90-day plan, I suggest that you do 2 back-to-back. Okay, so has everyone got this? If you miss 1 day of your 90-day plan, you've got to go back to day 1 and start again. So this is how you're going to teach yourself to be consistent, how to employ yourself, and how to develop that momentum in your business, okay? So the first 30 days is day 1 to 30. This is your setup stage. This is where you're getting everything to place. You're kind of working out your routine. It's probably the time you're going to stop and start the most, and it's probably the most frustrating time, because it's a bit like you've got this big giant boulder and you're trying to push it up the side of the mountain to get the momentum going, but it takes the hardest amount of work for the least amount of results, okay? This is when most people quit. So, but we're not quitters, are we? Are we quitters? No. So then we get to the second 30 days. Day 31 to 60 is the building stage. There's a bit of momentum. You're probably starting to see some results. Calls are coming in. You might have got some clients or some members, and that you're starting to build that momentum up. So it's a little bit easier to get going. The boulder's a bit further up the mountain. And then on the third, which is the most exciting, the reaping stage, which is where everyone wants to get to, day 61 to 90, is where you've got the boulder up to the top and it's starting to roll down on its own, okay? So you've got momentum happening. And this is when sometimes people take the foot off the pedal and they relax. They go, oh, great, it's all going for me now. This is when you want to put the foot on the pedal even more and get the accelerator down and go even harder at the end, the last 30 days. And then as soon as you complete it, start do back-to-back. Okay, I know when I did 2 back-to-back 90-day plans, that's when I hit it. I did 10,600 volume points in 1 month. Okay, so if you want to hit 10,000 volume points a month, you want to do 2 back-to-back 90-day plans. So Jan, did you have anything you wanted to add about 90-day plans?
You've absolutely spot on with everything you've said, because it does take at least 90 days to start, you know, really concreting that momentum. And it is important to keep that 90 days, the second one, going, because it is just so hard to restart momentum. once you've got your momentum going, you've got to continue with it. So, you know, a 90-day plan is just so important. But you're spot on with having to go back and start day one again. I know it's infuriating sometimes because we do, you know, I remember I used to lose focus as well, and having to restart it again, I think, oh no, why don't I do that? But it is so important that it does really teach you that consistency, and it does build that business, but you've got to keep going. Absolutely. And that's how you do your big volumes, because you're introducing, you know, customers, which is volume, but you're also introducing other people to your team, and you're helping them develop. And it's, you know, every member that buys product, it's their own personal volume as well, but it's also your volume. So the more new members you've got, the bigger your personal volume does become. And that's when it really gets exciting.
Thank you, Jan. So how many did you have to do, like, stop and start until you completed your first one?
Oh, about 5.
Yeah. That's good. So I want you all to keep this in mind. You've got to go back to day one if you miss a day. That's all I'm saying. So you've got to be accountable. So we'll go to the next slide. Cool. So yes, we want you to do flyers and ads and things like that. But as you know, Gary and Merv were really big on this, and I know Jennifer talks about it all the time, is talking to people you know and letting them know, and to go through your centre of influence, your COI, which is people you know, and you want to do this step first. And it's not that you want to sell to every single one of your friends, and it's not that you want to get every single one of your friends in the business, but you need to let them know what you're doing. Just like if you open a restaurant, you know, something, you know, you're proud of what you're doing. You know, if you believe in what you're doing, you're proud. Why wouldn't you want to let the people that you care about and trust and love at least know what you're doing? You don't want to rock up at the summit and they're sitting, so you got a cousin or a sister or a friend sitting in the front row and you did not tell them about it. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want regret. So let's avoid that. So basically you make 2 lists, okay? So you want to think about every single person you know and think of it as planting the seed and just you know, getting it out there and letting them know. Ask if they can share it on Facebook on their timeline. Most people are really happy to do that. Most people are happy to do a couple of streets in their neighbourhood for you and do flyers. You know, there's so many creative things you can do with the people you know. So list 1 is, who do you know that needs the products? You know, do they need to lose weight or gain weight? Do they need extra energy or health benefits? Are they into fitness and sports or the skin? You know, just start thinking about that, you know, as memory joggers, and start making the list. And list 2 is, who do you know that needs the opportunity? And of course, some people can be on both lists, which is great. They're the people you start with first, which is what Jennifer's advice was last week, which was fantastic. But so who needs the opportunity, and who are we looking for? If you listen to the Millionaire Training Tapes with Larry Thompson, he says we're looking for dissatisfied people. Okay, and it doesn't matter what area they're dissatisfied in. Like if they're dissatisfied with any area of their life, they go on the list. Okay, and if you don't have a copy of the Millionaire Training Tapes, let us know, and we can definitely get you some links to go and have a listen to. So if they're dissatisfied with their income, maybe they love their job but they don't have enough time with their family. Maybe they want to travel but they don't have enough money to do that. Maybe they're not spending enough time with their family, or maybe they're just not having enough fun. Maybe their job's too serious, or they just want more freedom. Whatever it is, they go on the list. And remember, they're on list 1 and list 2. They're the people you contact first. And Lydia gave a great tip, is help those people, do some role plays, do 3-way calls, go and see them face to face with them, do a shake party or a launch, something where you can help your new person talk to those people, okay, and teach them the skills on how to handle questions and objections. And so I know this one, George Knight's really big on this one, is that he said, you know, some people go, I don't want to talk to my friends and family. He goes, why don't you want to talk to them? Don't you like them? And so, and something that really hit home with me that he used to say, so don't prejudge anyone. It's our job to give people information. It's their job to make the decision. He said, George Knight always said, give people the first right of refusal. Let them make up their mind, okay? Don't make up people's minds for them. And no doesn't mean no forever. As we know, sometimes you'll talk to someone and then 6 months later, 2 years later, 10 years later for some of my family, they're finally interested. So never give up on people. Just let them know and keep in touch. Talk life. Doesn't always have to be about Herbalife. And just keep planting those seeds, because eventually if you plant enough seeds, yes, the birds will get some and the weeds will get some, but eventually they'll fall on good ground. So did you have any things to add?
No, you've pretty well covered everything we need to be covered tonight.
Oh, thank you. Dan, did you have anything else about Centre of Influence?
No, you've covered it really, really well. But it is important to, do the two lists. And like you said, the person that's dissatisfied on both sides, they're the ones you do start with first. And usually the person that you do bring into your team, Larry Thompson always taught, if you can, within 72 hours, try and get some retail profit in their pocket. It really helps them understand that this really does work. And
then too, if someone does that, then what do they do with their people? Get the 72-hour plan. I think that's really clever. And then stuff starts to happen fast.
Yes, absolutely. Everything is duplicatable. That's what we've always got to stop. And Mark has always said, whatever you're doing, stop and ask yourself, can this be simply duplicated? And if it's not, well, you've got to rethink what you're doing.
Yeah. And I remember on the Millionaire Training Tapes, the Larry Thompson, he talks about the gold mine attitude.
Yes.
And it's such a great, so I definitely don't tell it as well as Larry does or Gary, but the basis of the story is that someone gets up early one morning and they discover this cave, and in it is basically for every gold coin they take out, 2 comes in its place. And he goes back and he's trying to convince his friends, but they just want to watch the football. And he said, what are you going to do? Just go and run an ad to get someone to come and help you with this gold mine, or are you going to turn the TV up and sit this person down and say, hey, we need to go and get the biggest truck we can find and some shovels, and it doesn't even matter how much shovels cost, it's just the most expensive ones, and come and help me dig this gold, because there's, he always said there's more money in the Herbalife, gold mine today than there was, when it first started. So there's more than enough for every single person. And you need to have that gold mine attitude. Go and talk to the people you love first before you go and run an ad. So I hope we've made that one clear.
No, absolutely spot on. And those Millionaire Training Tapes are absolutely the best tapes ever.
Cool. Thank you, Jan. Cool. So, okay, yes, we do want you to do some other advertising methods, of course. So there's this fantastic menu, and I liken it as to going to a restaurant, and there's all these things you can order, all these dishes, and everyone's different. We all have different tastes, and we're all going to choose different things. So this is why we have a menu, so that you can choose what suits your personality type, what's going to fit in with your time or the way that you want to do things, your budget even, okay? Because obviously some things are free and some things cost money. So I just want to explain, though, there's 2 very different things. The methods you use to generate inquiries is different to the events that you invite people into, okay? There's 2 different types of things. So with your methods, you want to choose 4. So you've got a stable table, and we'll just go through some. Wearing a button or some sort of branded material, doing surveys, or just going out and walking and talking, which we're going to do tomorrow. Yeah. Facebook's or social media, but make sure you use all the guidelines. It's very easy to not do that, so make sure you do the right thing and protect the golden goose. Asking for referrals, which I know Lydia and Marcel are fantastic at, that we could do a whole training just on that. Different flyers, pull tabs and posters, competition boxes, your car signage, school newsletters, or any sort of newsletters for that matter, your white pages listing, which is free. I'm pretty sure you can get one in for free, and different newspaper ads, which is kind of old and traditional, but those sort of things still work if you do them the right way. So you want to choose 4 of those sort of things and do them consistently as often as you can. Some are set and forget, which means once you do them, like for example, once you put a sign on your car, that's set and forget, it's already staying there. So things like flyers are something you can do every single day and leave that paper trail. So once you're doing your methods consistently, and I would suggest that you use methods and wording that you know is already proven to work. Don't try new ideas and wording in your brand new campaign. Okay, I'm not saying that there aren't things that you're going to come up with that don't work fantastically, but don't use them right at the beginning. Okay, so you want to use proven wording. So use your mentors and your sponsors and people you know they're getting results. Get some stats on it. So for example, I know if I do a proven flyer, for every 500 I do, I'm going to get between 1 and 4 calls. Which means basically if I'm doing 1,000 flyers, I'm getting between 2 and 8 calls. I should really be getting at least 1 client out of 1,000 flyers, okay? And I know if I hand them face to face, it's going to improve the strike rate immediately. If I'm doing them in letterboxes, it's going to take a bit longer. So these are all the things you need to know and you need to ask your mentor and sponsor about, so you're using proven wording, okay? And then once you're getting results from that, then you want to invite them into different events that you have in your local area, for example, or it could be online, like an online HOM, but grand openings, shake parties, skin parties, weight loss challenges, fit clubs, HOMs, wellness valuations, whatever it is, you're inviting people into something to give them that extra information. And yes, you can do it over the phone, and yes, you could do it online if you had to as well. But of course, face-to-face always gets the best results possible. It just speeds up the strike rate because they get to see you and they get to look into your eyes and see that you believe in what you're doing, because of course we communicate with feelings, so they're going to pick up on that. So if you don't have any of these sort of events in your local area, I would suggest that you start doing something. Just pick one thing and start doing it, and can get your mentor to help you do it as well. So did you have anything else to add to that?
No, you've pretty well covered most of that. Just as long as they choose 4 of those methods, do them consistently every day within that 90-day plan, and make sure you are inviting into something so that you're around a lot of other people that can actually help with pushing the information on testimonials and all that. It's just not your result, it's everyone else's results as well.
So just say, for example, say if we did have something like that and you were only on your own, what would you do to show results? What would you use?
You could use one of the Flipbook systems. You could get testimonials from other people that you already know. Have the Flipbook system. So if we go back to that system, at least you can show results from everyone else, which means it's just not your result. It clearly shows whatever. And those before and after photos of other people are just, they're their results on their own.
Yeah, it's like a picture tells 1,000 words. And also you can have business stories as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the things I love about some of the journals you get at the Spectacular, or every time there's someone coming as a guest speaker, you get a copy of their story. So I'd suggest that you save it and print it out, and then you can have those as well in Flipbook to show different backgrounds that relate to someone else you're talking to. Because if you're, for example, so Jan's talking to me and she worked in a supermarket, but I work for Telstra, I might not relate to Jan, but if she shared someone else's result that did work at Telstra or something similar, then I'm going to relate to that person much easier. So make sure you find relevant results to share as well, okay? Moving on to the next one. Okay, so this is not my strength, keeping good records and everything. So I just
Really?
I thought Ross would cover this one, and I know Lydia and Marcel are good at using this chart as well.
So one of the things we need to do in Herbalife is it is a numbers system, and it is a numbers process, and we really do need to keep track. And we're not all numbers people. We definitely aren't. Some are very good at numbers, and some are very, very good at people and socializing and all the other things that are part of the business. But we have to be able to have a balance between the two. And if you don't keep some sort of gauge, like Shelley said, you go out and put out 2,000 flyers and nobody's contacted you. You've got to go, okay, what's wrong with the flyer? If you don't have some sort of idea of what you're realistically putting out in the Pacific area, you really have no idea of what level of effort you're putting in to get what sort of results you need to do. And you also need to be able to keep some sort of gauge of who you've spoken to, how often we're speaking to those particular people, how often you may need to go back to somebody in a certain environment, because, you know, some of the gauges that we don't all understand, some of us will go and talk to somebody once and we give up. The statistics imply that sometimes you've got to talk to some individuals up to 6 times before they'll even want to talk to you. So you may need to know that, hang on a minute, I've only been back to that person 3 times. Hang on, I better go back a couple more times before I know I'm going to get a definite no or whatever. You just don't give up on some of those people, but you have to keep some sort of idea of where you're up to, what sort of volume you need to achieve. If you don't know your volume that you're going to do, there's nothing worse than getting to now at the beginning of this particular part of the month and go, hang on a minute, I haven't even done a volume and I want to do whatever the volume for the month. I'm in trouble. I should have already been doing something or wherever the process is. Nothing worse than getting to the last day of the month and go, oh, I haven't achieved whatever it was. So if you're having some sort of gauge, whether it's weekly, daily, or whatever is easy for you, at least you can say, hang on a minute, I'm off track. I should have already done whatever it may be. I should have already done, hang on a minute, I didn't even go and talk. I said I was going to talk to 10 people today and I've talked to no one, or I've only talked to 1. You need to have some sort of system that you can track yourself and go, yes, I'm on track. I'm ahead of the curve. You do a Jim Rohn quote out of one of the books. Just because it says you're supposed to ring 10 people today and you ring 12, guess what? I'm 2 in front of the game for tomorrow. You still do your 10 tomorrow, but that's where you need to be. Otherwise, you're 2 behind if you only do your 8. So you do need to keep an idea of where you're up to at all times.
So just say, for example, your retail business, what sort of records and gauges would you keep?
Well, if I was looking at retail, I would want to know what I'm buying, where my product was, what it's costing me. Am I actually replacing the product that I'm using? If I had, I wanted to have 500 volume points worth of product on hand, if I'm selling my product and I'm not keeping a track of what I'm doing, I could get to the end of the month and go, hang on a minute, I haven't ordered any more product. I don't know where I'm up to. I don't know what it's cost me. And a cost is a big thing. With your retail profit, if you're not keeping a track of where you're up to, you may be wasting it and spending it on other things, or you may not be wasting it, but you don't, hang on, where did I spend it? Oh, that's right, I spent it on that. Great, at least I know where that money's come from for that retail plan I've just gone from.
So what forms do you use, like to keep track of your clients? Like, what would you use?
Well, you can really use any forms you wanted. If you should be using, we do have a docket book system that you should really be keeping a track of, so that gives them all your details. When you're doing retail, you write their details down, they sign to say they received it, you have a copy of that receipt, and also then you can go back to that receipt down the track and go, hang on a minute, X person hasn't contacted me, they bought a product a month and a half ago, they'd have to be out of that by now. You can pick that phone straight back up off last month's dockets and go, hey, whoever it is, hey, I've noticed you probably have run out of multivitamin, or you can have whatever style of conversation you have with that person. Say, how are you going? What's going on? Or do you have one of those magic multivitamin bottles that continue to refill themselves? Because some people do have them, unfortunately. But at least you can have the conversation and you know where you're going on, because you've kept a receipt book of where you've gone with that retail. And you can clearly then see what you've cost yourself, what profit you've made, and then you can go from there.
I think you get one of those retail order pads in your career manuals. Sorry.
In your Herbalife member pack, you do get one to start with, and they are audible from myherbalife.com. And you do need to be able to have that information, because when you get up to the level of supervisor and you've got other supervisors, you do need some of that information to be able to show if Herbalife talk to you about you are justifying what you are doing and where you're selling that product to.
Yeah, so that's the 10 customer rule that
Yep.
We fill out as supervisors to get our royalty, and it just shows that we're not just buying the product and putting it in the cupboard, we're actually retailing, and in fact Australians are one of the strongest retailers in the world, really. And I know I've been asked by Herbalife probably twice in my 27 years just to supply some customer details and receipts and things like that. So it's also good to have it on hand just for that. But also, like Ross said, just so you can make sure you're doing good follow-up, you haven't missed anyone, and you know what's going in and what's coming
going out. Yes, otherwise it disappears.
Not one of my strengths.
Yeah, but you've also got to remember that if you walked into any traditional style business, whatever it may be, you would have to keep a record of what you purchased, what you sold, where your customers were. What's the difference? This is a professional business. This is a multi-billion-dollar potential business you have at your fingertips. Why aren't you keeping some sort of clear record of what you're doing and where your clientele are? And you need to keep that record. So you need to be able to follow up on your clientele down the track.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So looking at this gauge sheet here, I know that Lydia and Marcel, and I love one of you to share just how you use this Get 20 Keep 20 gauge sheet. Look, I know there's lots of other ones out there, but I like this one because it's so visual. So did one of you want to maybe share just how you use this this gauge sheet for your business?
Lee, do you want me to go?
Yeah, go. Yeah, go, love, go.
You normally jump in first. No, yeah, so yeah, Lee's pretty strict on the gauges every month. So when I first started, I was actually just doing them once a week, but now I've found I'm having to do them daily. I find it easier. As soon as someone puts an order through online or purchases products from me, I put the volume points in the little circles there. I also record my own personal volume and also just my income as well, weekly income there. And also, Shelley, what I've found is if I'm finding I'm having a quiet month, I'll go back to previous gauges and I actually write in the back of the gauges what I've done that month. So I've held a shake party or a weight loss challenge, or you know, one of my downlines hit supervisor. I write that all in the back, so therefore I know, you know, what I've done that month to get such great volume.
Excellent. And so this system, I just want everyone to hear this. So do you think this system played a big part in you qualifying for the Herbalife vacation to Bali?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and I can go to previous months and, like, you know, if there's someone written in the circle that hasn't ordered, well, I can contact them and see what's happening. And also, if you put in their volume in the circle every week, you can see if they're going to reach their 500 volume points, and, you know, let them know how close they are to it. You know, you can also look it up on BizWorks, but I find it, you know, writing the gauge helps heaps.
Thank you. And I just got a great tip which I hadn't been doing, Marcel, is that I'd been putting all my clients that are ordering directly through me, but I actually hadn't been adding the people that are ordering off BizWorks, so I'm going to start doing that. This gauge sheet is on Challenge Yourself Daily, so if you're not on that group, just ask your sponsor to put you on Challenge Yourself Daily. It's in the file section. If you're not sure, just PM me and I can just send it through to you as well, but it is in there. It's a really great visual sheet. Print them out for each month. You may need more than one, which is, I think Marcel and Lydia are saying that. And if you want to qualify for Active World Team, which Lydia has, or for the vacation like Marcel has, these are two mums in country towns, and they've been able to do this, build their business to this, and using these gauges. So just, you know, success leaves clues. So just, I definitely would love actually to do a training with these guys and really pick your brains on how you use this sheet and how you drive your referrals and things like that. I think it would be a really valuable training call. So thank you very much for sharing.
That's okay.
Cool. So we'll go on to cool. So here we go where, you know, we've gone through halfway through the month, and now we want to finish off the month strong, okay? Because sometimes what can happen is, you know, we have all these plans at the beginning of the month of what we want to achieve, and then we get halfway through and we feel like we've lost our way, lost focus. So I really want you to think about now that we're halfway through the month, and how do you finish off strong? How do you achieve your goals? So did you set a goal for the start of the month? And if the answer is yes, are you on track? Have you spoken to everyone? Like Marcel said, she's got all these people. Have you gone and spoken to every single person you can? Have you gone back through your receipts and see if you've missed anyone that you should be calling? Are you working with your mentor and sponsor so that you're confident with your calls and you're using their skills and experience? And are you really committed to this goal? Okay, because if it's not something that you're feeling really strong and passionate about, you're probably not going to go for it. So make sure you set goals that really strike a chord with you and really mean something to you. And if you haven't set a goal, not a problem. You can make one now, okay? The last 2 weeks of the month, what are you going to do? Do you want to get 5 new clients? Do you want to upgrade some distributors? Do you want to get a new distributor or a new client? Try some new products, work on a better result or a new result like Coral was saying, and you just want to do a little bit more than you did yesterday. Just get a little bit better every single day. That's all your goalpost. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else. Don't worry about what's happening on Facebook or anything like that. Just get better than what you were yesterday. And I really love the Rolls Royce attitude, and we've heard it a lot. Jan, do you know this story really well? Did you want to share a little bit about the Rolls Royce attitude?
Yeah, no, I can't remember it all.
Okay. Well,
you just really got to work on it.
Cool.
You've got to have a good attitude when things are going bad. That's a real test.
Well, let's use it for the Success Summit this Saturday. So let's just say Jan's feeling really generous, and she's going to buy everyone. See this Rolls Royce here on the screen? She's going to buy every single person a Rolls Royce just like this if you get 10 brand new people to the Success Summit on Saturday. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I want you to think about for that moment that it wouldn't matter whether you thought it was possible or not possible. Just for, you'll be going, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get 10 new clients or 10 new people to that event or whatever it is that it is. You want to have that same attitude that you're going to do whatever it takes to do that. You wouldn't even have thought about whether it was possible or not or how you were even going to do it. This is the Rolls Royce attitude, that you're just going to do it no matter what. And that's the attitude you need to have about your business every single day. It's called the Rolls Royce attitude, okay? So, of course, Jan's not going to buy you the Rolls Royce, just so you know. Doing disclaimer. Or are you, Jan? Are you? No.
Well, you never know.
So, it'll be a promotion down the track when you're on Founder Circle, okay? Yeah. Let's do that. So I want you to have the same attitude about everything you do, your follow-up, your product result. You just want to have that rock star attitude and follow up, as Lydia was saying, about everything that you do, okay? And I know Style Bell, he came and was one of our guests at the Spectacular, and he said how we do anything is how we do everything. And, you know, what you do when you're behind closed doors and no one can see you is what, you know, really what you should be doing when you're in public. You know, you want to be totally transparent and totally authentic and just do the best you can. It's not always easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but strive for that. And it's amazing what can happen, okay? I can go on. I don't know what's next. I'm trying to remember. Oh, look at that. That's for you.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this Saturday, 21st of April, Summit. Now, obviously, there's not just one in Brisbane. So, yes, there's the agenda for the Brisbane Summit, the registration, the supervisor training, and the breaks, and the HOM, and the Success Summit training. But there's also one in Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, and Cairns. And obviously, that's going to be in your Herbalife nutritional information that would have come out in emails. It would have you also would probably in your own states, you would have all that information come out in your own Facebook groups and whatever. So you just need to look up those posters, work out where they are, get as many people as you possibly can to that summit and to whoever the guest speaker is in your own environment. We've got plenty of places around the area. And again, who do you know in those areas that you may be able to make a phone call, message, whatever you need to do to say, hey, you need to get yourself along to one of these events. You may not live there, but you might know people in those areas.
Yep, and the early bird ticket.
Yeah, and the early bird ticket, yes, nearly forgot that one. Midnight, Wednesday night. From midnight on Wednesday night, those early bird prices that are on there are going to cease. And they're going to be the extra price. So really, you need to talk to your people now. You've got tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday till midnight. Midnight, obviously, which would probably be Adelaide time.
I don't know.
Yeah, so be careful of that. Just make sure it's not just Adelaide, midnight Queensland time, because to wherever those tickets are being cut off, that's where they'll probably be cut off from. So you need to make sure you have got your people telling them you don't want them to have to be paying that extra $10 or $15 odd dollars at the door. You need to try and get those people there now. Save your people some money by getting them to get a ticket by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon.
So, for example, Perth's 2 hours behind, so it'd be 10 p.m. cut off for them. So just
be conscious of that, depending on where the ticket system works within your area. Absolutely.
And there's an HOM as well. So again, yes, it's open to all members to attend these, but again, if there's an HOM, who do you know in all these areas that you can invite to the HOM, the Herbalife Opportunity Meeting? Sorry, Dan, I've got to not abbreviate. And if you don't live in that area, no problem. Go see who's going to that you know, and they can look after that your guests for them. But let them know. Don't just send them along and have it as a surprise. You know, communicate with people, and they're always happy to look after your guests for you. And just make sure you follow up afterwards. Did you have anything extra to add to that, Jan?
No, you've covered it well. The HOM, obviously, the Herbalife Opportunity is free for guests, obviously. They don't have to pay anything, but the rest of the workshop is obviously there's a fee for that. Well worth it. And Joanna is just an incredible young woman. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we've basically got, 4 more days of who do you know in any of those areas to get to the HOM. That's what I'd be doing. This is a great way to ask your friends and your centre of influence, and that's how the referrals all come about. So just start asking who do you know. It's amazing what can happen just from that. I think there's a few more things coming up. Is that right?
Sweet. So what's next? Monday night team call next week will be on personal development. And obviously just got back from the summit, but we're going to be having a conversation on personal development because that's one thing. We can do the recruiting things, we can do the retail, we can do an action plan, but we're still going to be able to put our shoes on and walk out that front door. And we need personal development to do that because unfortunately, there's plenty of us that at times that if you've gone and done your first walk and talk and that's a big flat no and that person's been aggressive, you may walk away. And you don't want to be able to walk away. You want to be like, okay, just brush that off. So we all need levels of personal development. At every level, we need to continue our personal development. So next week, we're going to go through that and go through a few things that you just need to do. Just no matter how bad things are and how difficult things are, you can actually rise above it and you can get through it. So we'll go through some of those things next week. Obviously, we'll talk about what we've learned out at the summit. The extravaganza, May 11 to 13 in Southeast Asia. So if you're looking to go to that, organise your travel centres, whatever you need to do, get yourself there. Don't miss out on that event in any way, shape or form. But do remember, you do have to be a supervisor. Is that correct? You have to be a supervisor to be able to go. So just, so whatever you need to do, get yourself a supervisor before the end of this month, if that's what you have to do. We've already been through the process of how to qualify to supervisor in 1 month or 2 months. So what do you need to do? Who do you need to do to help get you in that line of system of people to get yourself to supervisor before the end of this month? And obviously, Queensland, the STS at this stage, the next one we're aware of is May 26th. That's in Queensland. It may be different in other states. You'll need to look up where your STSs are in those particular states. We don't have that information at this particular point in time.
So STSs happen all over Australia, or all over the world actually, so which is cool. So thank you for covering that, Ross. So that's basically our call for tonight, and I just love all the Mark Hughes quotes and listening to Mark Hughes actually, but he always says it's simple. If I can do it, you can do it too. And that you want people to actually think that. You don't want to be, as Jan said, keep it simple. If it's duplicatable and simple, people can go, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. Or if he can do it, I can do it. That's how you want people to think. You don't want to think, wow, they're so amazing, I could never do it like them, or I could never, but that's not what you want people to think. It's simple, looks like they can do it, I could do that. That's exactly how you want your business to go, and guess what, it's going to go faster. So that's basically the call for tonight. Jen, did you want to add anything before we wrap up?
No, you've done a fantastic job one more time again, Shelley. No, absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Cool. So we want everyone to get into action. We want you to finish off the first half of the year strong. We want you to finish off this month strong and have the confidence to put what you're learning into action. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for questions on Challenge Yourself Daily. If you're not on that group, just get your sponsor to add you on. We're more than happy to have everyone on there, and we'll add all the different gauge sheets and everything as well. So I definitely want to say thank you to everyone that's on the call tonight. We really appreciate your time and attention. This is obviously recorded, so I'm going to convert it to that YouTube link. It'll go out tonight as well, and I'll put it in the comment section of the team call. But again, if you don't have team members that are on Challenge Yourself Daily, make sure that you ask for the recording, and then you can send it out to everybody, okay? So we've got some really exciting things coming up. Next week's team call is on personal development and helping you grow as a person and as a leader so that you can now really build with confidence. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you for sharing.
See you all on Saturday.
We've got a few messages. Let me just quickly before you. So that's cool. We can definitely work on the Millionaire Training tapes. We'll make sure we get them. So I'll get you some links on how to access those, okay? So thank you for bringing that up, guys. Okay, so have a great night. We'll talk to you all soon.
No, thank you.
Bye.
See you.